Hi, I'm Heather from booktubes, and today is a Netgalley reading vlog where I read ARCs that I got from Netgalley, and I hope that you enjoy it. I ended up going into quite a bit of depth with these books, and I started filming at the beginning of September, so I accidentally had the longest time span of a vlog that I've ever done. Hey, so I am halfway through Finding the One and absolutely loving it. Of course, I love this series so much. Our hero is Scottish, which amazing, impeccable. Of course, he is a former professional rugby player and is now like a commentator for sports channels and games. His family is also very wealthy, like hers is. Her family are English peers, but she's grown up mostly in America, I believe. Her sister has a book earlier in the series, and at that point, our main character, Blake, is the worst, right? And then she kind of has a come to Jesus moment and changes. Basically, she stops trying to get the approval of her very toxic mother and changes a lot of things about herself. Those events that happen in that book are 4 years in the past now. So she's grown as a person for 4 years now. And they knew each other as children. She didn't like him. He was loud and outdoorsy and always messing with her. And she was very snooty and stuck up and prim and proper, but also just someone who doesn't enjoy the outdoors, doesn't enjoy hunting, doesn't enjoy rough and tumble kid games. They meet up at her sister's wedding and she gets in a fight with her mom and he's like really into her. So they start the romance there. There's also like a lot of things going on with their families at the time, and so they're dealing with all of that. But then the romance is like very quick and sweet, but they are long distance. She lives in New York and he lives in Scotland. So right now, halfway through, she's in Scotland for her first visit. It's a couple weeks after the wedding. And they are like very much so envisioning a life together, all of this stuff, right? And they're just super sweet. I'm absolutely loving their romance. But something tragic just happened to a family member that they weren't particularly close to, has just suddenly passed away. And so that is going to involve inheritance and, you know, a lot of things that just happened at the 50% mark. So I'm loving the romance. Curious to see where it goes. This is one of those series where everybody is so involved and it's just so interesting. I know I say this every year when the next book comes out, but like I don't like celebrity romances, and like all of this is kind of a interwoven, everybody knows everybody else through multiple layers of contact and connection, but everybody's rich. Most of them are very famous for one thing or another, if for no other reason than the fact that their family is very rich. And that premise just wouldn't appeal to me at all, but it's Kristen Ashley, and I love this series so much. I'm glad that it is continuing and is so long. This is the 7th book, and I'm just so happy about that. I honestly would not mind doing a reread of this series at some point. I really would not mind at all, because like I said, they are so interwoven that, you know, reading like their romances now, it's interesting to go back and see like when they were first introduced and all of the things that happened, because yeah, you just have such a huge cast of characters and they're all involved. And it's hard to keep them straight. As a matter of fact, I couldn't even remember who this main character was until I started the book. I honestly thought it was somebody else. Because I can't remember people's names. I don't remember the characters' names very well at all. And I just thought it was another one of the unmarried characters left, but it's not. It's this one, which is great. I'm very happy about that. No disappointment whatsoever. But like, I did not even realize who this was about before I started it because I couldn't remember who Blake was. Well, I should have a nice quiet day today after a bit of a rough week and a very busy weekend coming up. So I fully plan on finishing this book today, and so we'll probably talk to you again probably tonight at some point because tomorrow is going to be busy. I'm 69% in, and this man better not mess things up for me. Oh, you idiot! Hello. You're still shaking. It's fine. I'll wait. I come to you today after a few rough days, right? I'm getting ready to film my Love in the Night announcement, which you have already seen. I'm currently kind of working on 2 different vlogs. This one and the pre-2025 TBR vlog. You tell me which one you saw first, because I don't know. Yeah, it's been a shitty few days. I'm not gonna lie to you. Have you ever seen a vampire with bangs, hoops, and a Halloween shirt? Because that's kind of the vibe we're going for, but not really, but kind of. I should be cleaning my house, like desperately should be cleaning my house. I should be getting this announcement video out 10 minutes flat, you know? Instead, I'm trying to do full Halloween glam while wearing Christmas pajamas and spiraling. Yeah, that's the plan. Anyways, vampires are pale, so I used my palest foundation. However, it clings to every bit of texture of my face, so instead of a pour less vampire, I was like, what if we did pour more? Pour more vampires, you know what I'm saying? It could be a thing. All right, the whole reason I'm talking to you is because days ago, frick. All right, well, we've already messed up. We've already forgotten the vision. I can't find it because it's in my spell book. Anywhoozle. Days ago, I finished finding the one and didn't talk to you about it. So obviously, I think we all knew where this was going. There was a 3rd act breakup. And also, obviously, that did upset me. Because I was like, sir, what the actual fuck are you doing right now? Like, I think this is fine. I think he, based on what will happen afterwards, I don't think he realized the emotional damage he was doing at the time. But also, I was just like, this is just so self-centered. Like, I understand that you're having, like, doubts and, like, concerns, but, like, the way he handled it was just, like, again, like, he was, I'm not gonna defend this man, actually. I'm not gonna defend him. It was messed up. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. I was like, dude, I understand that the timing of this is that you don't want to get deeper into a doomed relationship, even though he wasn't, like, even thinking it was a doomed relationship. He was just thinking it was, like, something he needed to talk about and was handling that really poorly, right? But it's like, you know what all is going on. You know that she had a tragic death in the family recently. Like very recently. I don't know. Like, my dude, what are you doing? What are we doing here? So let me tell you, whatever it is, I'm not a fan. 3rd act breakup, I didn't like any of that at all. A 3rd act breakup does not always bring down the rating for me, but sometimes it does. And this is one where it did. Because, like, what are you doing? Like, I'm just gonna be honest, I felt like the whole thing was pretty unnecessary on his part. Out here looking like Darth Maul right now instead of the desired effect. Thank you for nothing. Really love this for me. Why do we look like cheetah spots right now? How sketchy does that look? So anyways, the good news is we do get over the third act breakup with still like 15%, 45 minutes left in the book because the book is long enough. So there is still some time left after the breakup to try and fix this colossal mess that we have going on, right? What else is new? So I love the book, hate the third act breakup, and that's pretty much my thoughts on everything. I can't believe how much I care about these rich people. I really cannot, because like truly, you tell me the synopsis, I'm like, I don't think so. But I love the series. The other thing is, I can't wait for the next one. I do hope that life gets a little bit better. Honestly, if my washer could just work without me having to do a game of roulette every time on whether or not it's the cord or the outlet or the washer, like I don't know what is happening. I really, really don't. But it's like the dumbest thing in the world. And if I can get my washer to start, it will run the whole load. But whether or not I can get it to start is like a 5-minute song and dance that I am not enjoying at all whatsoever. So just know that. I'm going for like a messy look, right? It's not really supposed to look like makeup. It's supposed to look like I'm dying or something. Does this look okay? I don't know. Look at this. I'm stressed. I'm gonna stop talking to you. Okay, bye. See on my laundry? Yeah. I just want you to know at this point, I have lost my lipstick. The lipstick that I picked up to put on, and then I was like, oh, wait, let me like do lip liner and do like smudgy undid. And then I added like a bunch more, okay? And I added blush, even though I have bangs. Undid, basically. I don't know. I don't know if a demon, a vampire. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. Thank God. So, we look like this. And I have one makeup wipe left because I was like, I don't even know that I need to buy some. I'm not sure I'm that low. So love this for me. This is great. Don't even worry about it. This is a one wipe job. Guess what, party peoples? I have been seeing friend after friend after friend get approved for Silver and Blood by Jessie Mahalik. Mind you, I've read all of the books, all their entire backlist. I've read it, and I have just been waiting, and I would lie to you if I said I wasn't a little bit bitter. If I wasn't a little bit like, I don't care what good thing happened to you, it should have happened to me. Obviously, I was happy for my friends, despite the fact I told them all I was going to disown them if I didn't get approved. I've been just like desperate for this arc since I requested it. Honestly, since before I requested it. Since it was announced, I've been desperate for this arc, and I got it. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy. This is the most beautiful cover for a romantasy, and I love this author, and I want to read it so bad. The synopsis is so good. Hey, how's it going? It is currently Wednesday, September 24th, and What Fury Brings came out yesterday, and I have not started it yet. And this vlog was supposed to be posted this week. Obviously, it's not being posted at the end of September. I think, as of right now, you're seeing this in November. So, things are failing. We have failed dramatically on the timeline. I really don't like having arcs after they have already been published, so that was just unfortunate. Between my reading and my schedule and prioritizing, it just didn't happen. So it needs to happen now. I would be lying if I told you that I'm not scared of this book. But yeah, I need to get started on it. I know it's pretty polarizing, and I'm hoping that I really fall on the side that absolutely loves it. But I'm a little bit worried about it because I don't like submissive heroes at all. I am not a dominant girly. I like, when it comes to bedroom stuff, I want to be in the submissive role. That's what I like, and that's what I like reading about as well. It just is. So I know that he's not submissive because he's actually the crown prince that she kidnaps by mistake, and he's pretending to be his brother. But I don't know because I don't like submissive men for my romance heroes. I don't really, but I'm really intrigued by the premise and I like this author, so we'll see, but I'm scared. I also DNF'd What Fury Brings by Trisha Levenseller, I think also at 9%. The hero's father is abusive, and I just don't want to read about abusive families. I don't, and I didn't want to read this enough to overcome that. Hello, it is October 1st. Over the last couple days, I have started This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me, Maggie the Undying, and it's a really interesting setup. So she falls into the world of her favorite fantasy series. This fantasy series was never finished, and it's dark. Think Game of Thrones-esque is what she's comparing it to. And she realizes very, very quickly that things are not just going according to the book, and that this world that she's in is much more expansive than that. Like, there's a lot of things happening that contradict or conflict with the beginning of the book, even though she knows the date that she's there. Like, she knows she's at the events of chapter 1 of book 1, but there are other things happening, including like magical things. And she also discovers that she can't die because she dies. And I think we might have met the love interest, fingers crossed. It definitely felt to me like manhwa and manga stories like this, where you fall into another world. It talks about how she's like, I know exactly what to expect and everything, but this is not that, and I like that. And so far too, it does not appear that she has taken the identity of somebody in this world, which is obviously really common and mentioned. It seems that she is a new person in this world. So I'm obviously really liking it. I'm just the tiniest bit, only 2 chapters in, and not exactly sure if I'm going to continue it this week before 11 of the night or not, but you, my besties, will be the first to know either way. Hey, so it's a few weeks later, and I am finally to part 2 of this book, Maggie the Undying, and that takes about 24% of the book, right? According to Amazon and Goodreads, it's 480 pages. Now, bear in mind that I have an ARC, so things might change in the final version, right? But it took me picking up the book 4 different times, 4 different days, to make it through 12% or just over 50 pages of this book. And that is very unusual for me and my reading pace and my reading habits, right? Number 1, often will have already DNF'd if I am not that interested and I'm struggling to pick it up or struggling to get through it. Obviously, I wasn't interested in DNFing this because it's Ilona Andrews, and I have so much experience with their writing and so much enjoyment and faith in their books that persevering to the point that they get the payoff of the book really feels worth it for me, because I know that they deliver, right? So there's that as well to consider, that oftentimes I don't actually make it through this point if I'm struggling. But I really was struggling through it. I don't know how much of that was me and my reading slumps and just not wanting to get fully committed to the book and not being hooked yet, but not really wanting to read hundreds more pages, in the next couple days, or what, who knows. But I can tell you between 12% and 18%, so roughly 60 to 80 pages into the book. Again, this might not be true in the finished copy, all of that. It's just math based on an ARC copy, right? Things get interesting. Things start to come together. I start to recognize some of that Ilona Andrews magic that I am so accustomed to. The found family, the side characters, all of this starts to come together right there. So now done with part 1, 24% in, now I'm really into it, right? Now I'm hooked. Now I feel like we have some direction. I feel like the whole first part, to be honest, but especially those first 50 pages or so are just so info dumpy on the world building. And I am not a super visual reader, and I was just struggling through the introduction of all these characters that she has all this knowledge of and understanding of, because she's read the book that they are in, and then all this information about the streets and about the city and about the politics, and it's just a lot packed in, and it's all mostly presented to you from the perspective of the fact that she's read the book, and so she knows these things, and she's telling you how she knows these things or what happened in the book. And it was just a lot, honestly. It was a lot. And I almost didn't really recognize their voice there in the beginning, Ilona Andrews' voice, because it was just like, yeah, I got nothing. I don't know. Like, I don't know. How many times are we going to introduce every single thing that we lay eyes on through the context of having read this book? Meanwhile, we're just walking down the street. So anyways, I definitely struggled with those first 50 pages or so, but now I'm in it to win it. I feel like things have really been established. We're really moving forward with what we plan on doing and who we're doing it with and why we're doing it and all of this stuff. And so I expect to read the final 400-ish pages of this book much more quickly than the beginning. At this point, I think we've been introduced to the love interest, but it might not be him. It might be somebody else. There's a lot of good-looking men in this world, and I am not sure how we're going to rank them. But she currently has a bodyguard who I think might be the love interest, and she's basically going to try and save the world from the political destruction that is coming and civil war. And she's also trying to save some of her favorite side characters from their grisly demise. And she also has now saved a couple characters and has a couple characters in her found family that were not featured in the book at all, so she doesn't really know anything about their past or future necessarily. And she's also very cognizant of the fact that as she messes with things, she will set things off course in ways that she no longer knows what happens or how bad that is or if it's better or worse and all of that stuff. So at this point, we have the bodyguard, we have a teen girl and a preteen boy, and Maggie. And we have just hired on more guards and the cook and stuff. But right now, this is our found family. We also have a little bit of an assassin, thief lord that we've had the smallest amount of contact with. We've had the smallest amount of contact with this, like, noble that is feared by the king and stuff. So there's different things happening that I think we might end up, you know, having more page time with these characters and having more of a bond with these characters, but we're not there yet. I could be wrong on some of those aspects, right? But I'm really into it. Oh, and also right now, her bodyguard, there's like a couple of things with him and like one other character that really don't ring true to the book that she read, and she is concerned and unsure of why those discrepancies exist. So that's really interesting too. So anyways, it's taken a while to get here, but I have picked the book back up over the last couple of days and we are finally, truly in it and hooked, and things are starting to flow, and I'm not feeling like I'm being introduced to so many different characters and things and not really having any reason to care that I'm being introduced to so much. Okay, so it's the next day. I'm back in my pajamas. I realized I should update you before I hopefully go finish the book before I have to leave the house again. But right about halfway through this book, things get interesting. We have some confrontations, some reveals, some twists and turns, and this, that, and the other thing. And now I'm like super, super into it. And we have a romance developing finally, and things are happening. And I am now at the beginning of part 4, and I'm so into this book. The only reason I haven't finished it yet is because I had to leave the house. And so things get very good, very, very good right about exactly halfway through the book. So I'm super duper excited. She's continuing to try and save the world with her band of merry men, and we're continuing to meet more people, and things are continuing to expand and get complicated and intertwined, and everything is just really, really good. All right, my power is out, so hopefully we can see each other. I did finish last night This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me. 5 stars, amazing, incredible, everything I've ever wanted. Can't wait for book 2. Book 1 doesn't even come out for 6 more months, so that's not great for me. But so good. I have a lot to say about it because I kind of want to tell you, if you're a fan of Ilona Andrews, what to expect. If you're a fan of fantasy romance, what to expect, yada yada. I talked a lot about, this guy I recognized from the book. Here's what the book told me about him. Here's what he looks like. Here's what he's wearing. Here's what he's going to do in the future. There's a building. Here's what it looks like. Here's what the book said about it. Here's what it's known for. Here's what I thought about it in the book. It's just, and that continues throughout the book, but never so heavy-handed, I would say, as the introduction of the world in the first 50 pages. Now, I personally think that the beginning of the book, even if it doesn't change a single iota between now and the finished version, is worth getting through, right? And perhaps if your brain works differently than mine, if you visualize things differently than I do when I read all of that kind of thing, you might have no trouble with it. And I was a little bit worried about how violent and dark this world might be. I wouldn't say it's very dark. There's definitely some darkness, but you're not going to be seeing people be raped on page or anything like that. You will know that some people have been raped in the past off page or in the future on page of the book that she was in, but you're not going to be seeing that, right? So kind of those levels. If you are a Ilona Andrews reader, things really pick up right after the 50-page mark or so when we meet the love interest. This is a bodyguard romance, which I always love, and our love interest is Reynold. Who knows how that's supposed to be pronounced, but that's how I'm saying it. And he is a little bit older, and he is a soldier, and he's motivated by trying to rescue his teenage son, and she basically proves to him that she can help him, and then they kind of set up a household together, not like a married couple. Like, she's the noble lady of the house, he's her bodyguard, head of security, all of that stuff. And then there's a teenage girl that's with them, there's a 12-year-old boy that's with them, and then there's a whole family of mercenaries and ex-soldiers that are with them. So very quickly after that 50 pages, very quickly you gather a lot of side characters and have the found family aspect that Ilona Andrews does so well. And you also have a slow burn romance. And then about halfway through this book, it's so good. Things get twisted, things get deeper, things get more romancy, things are happening, right? And there's a lot of side characters that you're gonna absolutely love that I'm not gonna tell you anything about, right? But all you really need to know is there's a strong romance. She's trying to save the kingdom from civil war, and you should also know, because she is Maggie the Undying, you see her die quite a few times, all of them violently because she's not dying of natural causes, and some of them are quite horrible. Now, they are not drugged out, but you're gonna watch her die multiple times, right? Now, for like the fantasy romance readers, again, your romance is going to start about 50 pages into the book. It's more like 60 pages, but after that first 50 pages, and there's going to be multiple men interested in her, but we have a very clear love interest, and it's fun to watch. As far as the fantasy world, I love that there is kind of equality amongst the sexes in this world. You have lots of women who are mages and who are soldiers and who are knights. You have lots of that on page. You have women who are powerful politically. You have sex workers who are powerful politically. And so I love all of that. There's also trans representation, and that is an accepted part of their society and is just, again, like a normal part of everyday life, which I love to see, because I hate when you are making up a world and you're like, what if we took our own prejudices and the things that are a problem in our society and just made them worse? What if we just did that? I hate that. Like, let's fix that. So this is very much more so talking about classes, and there isn't an oppressed class, right? There's just lower, poorer classes, and it talks a lot about the political structure of the kingdom and of the surrounding kingdoms as well, but it's not, oh, you know, if we find out you have magic, you're getting killed. It's not like that at all. I do think fantasy readers are going to have less trouble falling into this book, getting over that initial setup, and I think that they will obviously have an easier time following the different names and the different subsets and the different kingdoms and all of that. But I think that it is doable even if fantasy is not really your genre. Especially, like I said, if you can get to that 60-page mark basically and meet the love interest, it's a lot smoother sailing from there, because you have the found family, you have your characters that you're gathering and spending time with, and it's not just constant introductions. This does end on a little bit of a cliffhanger. Obviously, we have a lot of political unrest. We have things with the timeline changing as she makes changes, and we have some interesting things with that. But we do ultimately end on a cliffhanger after we have kind of wrapped some things up. We really kind of wrapped up the plot of this book pretty nicely. Her mission for this book was completed. Like, her initial first mission for this book was completed in this book. And then we're kind of on a different journey for book 2. And that's going to be really interesting. This book has a couple of kisses, and that is how much steam we get on page with that. So don't expect steamy scenes, at least not yet, but there is definitely prominent romance featured, and I loved it. I loved it. There's so much that I would love to say that I obviously can't because spoilers, but just know it is very, very worth it. I had the best time reading it yesterday. I was sad when it was over. I'm sad I have to wait for book 2. It's not a brutal cliffhanger. It just is a cliffhanger. So you can definitely read it when it comes out or when you get your hands on it. You don't have to wait for book 2 to be immediately available before you try this one. It's not that type of brutal cliffhanger. So absolutely loved it. Would recommend it to everybody, whether you're a fan of Ilona Andrews already or you are going to be trying them for the first time because you're a fantasy romance reader. I'm obviously an Ilona Andrews stan, and clearly I'm also thinking about Steph at Novelty Corner, my fellow Ilona Andrews connoisseur, who is not a fantasy reader but is an Ilona Andrews super mega fan. So I think that she will enjoy this, but I don't think it will be her favorite solely because it's fantasy. Hello. It is cold. It has been cold, which means that I have been accomplishing basically nothing. Have been under blankets, have been cuddled up. My productivity just goes when I'm cold. So I've been doing a little less than the bare minimum, and that's great. I have been reading a lot, actually. I am about 15% into Their Vicious Oaths, and that is 5 chapters in. I'm almost done with the events of the synopsis, so I'll probably give you guys a big update once I am a couple more chapters in. It has taken me a few days to get here. I've been reading other books in between, picking it up. Not hooked yet, I will say. Not hooked yet. The writing has not grasped a hold of me and not let me go. That hasn't happened yet. I'm hoping it does. We have already had a sex scene between the couple, even though she's unaware of his identity. And there's been some interesting things. All of the buzzwords and plot points and things that she has done marketing this book sound like they are exactly perfect for me. We're talking Black Fae, we're talking Kidnapped from the Wedding, we're talking Only One Throne. He's trying to kill the king that she's not wanting to marry, and then she's gonna marry him instead. Just lots of politics, lots of sex, lots of romance, lots of things that I think are going to work really well for me, but I'm not hooked yet. And then I'm feeling a little better right now. By that, I've gone down to one video a week, but for the second month in a row, I was talking about quitting booktube, and I was talking to my husband about it and stuff. And because I was talking about quitting booktube, he decided he did not want to trigger me with a Christmas present in case I had quit. So he gave me a sticker early that he had ordered me, which is The Life of a Book Girl, which I think is super cute and sweet of him. I did tell him that either way, the book journal is happening, but so he did not have to give it to me early. And then also on that note, I had saw somebody's Instagram stories with this washi tape from Hobby Lobby, which I don't shop at. I've been in literally one time. Let's see if I can get the glare off of it, but I had asked my mom and sister. My sister picked it up for me, and if you know me, if you know my taste, the greens, the blacks, the leaves, the gold, the mushrooms, this feels like the perfect washi tape set for me. And it's literally 50 washi tapes for $15. So honestly, I'm pretty excited about this. By pretty excited, I do mean wildly excited about it. So yeah, back on the bandwagon of not quitting booktube right now. We'll see. Apparently this is a thing that we're on now, but I will say going down to one video a week, and then like my reading has been better. Some of the readings have been higher, but even when they haven't been, it's just been like I've been reading over a book a day. I'm feeling that hunger to read, honestly, and I've missed it, especially when I've had it but not like been reading anything. Right now I'm like, if I can't find a book that I'm in the mood for, I'm just picking this up, you know, whatever the next thing is, and that's been really working for me. So I'm very excited to be reading right now. Can't wait for the next check-in where I probably tell you we're back back in the pits. Hi, I've just walked in the door from trunk or treating, and I am almost 50% through the way of Our Vicious Oaths by Annie Davenport, and I'm happy to report that I'm really enjoying it. It's easy reading. I'm wanting to read it at this point. I'm interested in what we're doing. I really like it. There are a couple of very specific tropes that I absolutely love, which I already mentioned: Stolen from the Wedding and Only One Throne. Those are two of my favorite little micro tropes inside a book. So very happy with that. The tagline for this is "The enemy of my enemy is my lover." I think that that is perfect. I assume that they're fated mates. There hasn't been any mention of fated mates being a thing, I don't think, in this world, but I think it would explain their sexual chemistry and the way that their bodies are just drawn to each other in a way that is not the norm for them. So that's what I think is up with that. They've had sex a couple of times at this point, even though they are reluctant allies at best. At this point. So there is the High King, and they are trying to go against him. She didn't want to be married to him in the first place, and then the guy has a vendetta because his parents and other members of their court were killed in an attempted coup when he was a child, orchestrated by the other kingdoms, and the High King specifically. His kingdom has a lot of resources that they are not willing to share, basically. And then she, through the events of the wedding, hates the High King even more, but she has a prophecy that she is going to be married to the High King, and her heirs are going to rule in a undisputed dynasty basically and have peace. So she's kind of a kingmaker. Whoever she ends up having a child with, the prophecy is going to be fulfilled by, right? He's actually not interested in using her for that. He's just using her as bait for the High King. The High King's not happy with her at all and also has a history of killing his wives, but doesn't want to kill her and wants her back specifically for the prophecy, right? So all of that is very interesting. I love reluctant allies. I love, you know, antagonistic, but still the undeniable chemistry and the constant sparring and trying to one up each other. I like that. The thing that I don't like is I don't like my characters to have anger issues, to have issues keeping control of their temper, especially in political situations or in a power struggle or power dynamics, because I think that losing your temper is a weakness, and I think that it is a weakness specifically when it comes to, again, power. And so I really like both my main character and my love interest, both if they are trying to be in any sort of power dynamics with each other or with other people, you know, in a power struggle, that they are able to hide their emotions and that their anger is not controlling them and they're not constantly having outbursts and stuff. Like, that's just me. That's just how I feel about characters. And unfortunately, the two of them are having outbursts quite a bit. Specifically, there's been some that I felt would really undermine their authority and just people wanting to follow them, especially because he actually has a prophecy that he's going to bring ruin or something, and it's supposedly a contrived prophecy that was done by the coup. He's very powerful, but he doesn't want to look unstable, right? And so I just think that he should not be losing his temper in front of other people and should not be easily provoked by her in front of other people. That's just my personal preference, and that's how I feel about it. If you are someone who is trying to cement your reign, your authority, you want people to follow your word, whether you're there to enforce it or not, I don't think that constantly losing your cool and the excessive use of exclamation marks is a good way to do that. So that's honestly, at this point in the book, my one gripe. She is the general of a squadron of dragon riders, basically, and they're the only dragon riders in the land, so that's pretty cool. I like a lot of the things that she's doing, and I also like that she's under his protection, and, you know, one of those things where he might be planning to kill her and she might be planning to kill him at the end of this thing, but right now, if you harm a hair on her head, that's an affront to his protection, and he's gonna deal with that. So I like all that, and I'm curious where it's going. I think I should be able to maybe finish it tonight. I had the live show for Archangel's Kiss tonight, so we'll see. But that's my plan, is to sit down and read the rest of this book. I did request another book on Netgalley. Hello. I'm not happy, I can tell you that. I did finish Our Vicious Oaths, and it was a solid 4-star. I had some quibbles. The characters were immature. I said about the anger thing being an issue. Did I really believe that these two had the maturity to lead the Fae courts, the Fae continent, if you will, as the High King and Queen? Well, no. I am 34 years old. They were like 25 and 26. I'm 34 years old, and I was viewing them as immature, right? I have to assume these Fae that are centuries older than me would also feel that way. I have to assume that. But I was letting it go, right? I was like, whatever, you know, this is the thing that I would change if I could. But overall, I like the tropes that we're using. I like the steamy romance that we're having. I like it, right? There's 40 chapters, okay? Chapter 39 hits, and my enjoyment of the book tanked. I mean, we are in the final battle, right? We're in the altercation. We are having the showdown with the current High King that is trying to force her to be his bride and trying to kill him, right? It's an epic war. It's their kingdom, his kingdom really, against all the other kingdoms underneath this sky. I will say, despite the fact that she's a fearsome general dragon rider, yada yada yada, it is her first battle, technically. And oh my god, I just can't with this. All right, so it's a battle, it's a war, it's a fight to the death, if you will, as these things tend to be. And she is being forced to fight against Faye from her own court because her court was already a vassal state under the High King, and when the debacle at her wedding happened, he basically completely consumed her court, right? So her entire country belongs to this High King that she is trying to depose. And so because of that, she is fighting against her Fae. And specifically, she is the head of a unit of dragon riders, and her type of Fae, Aether Fae, are the only ones that can bond with dragons. So all the other dragon riders are also her countrymen, right? I'm so mad. This is not like ultimate spoilers for the book. It's a little bit spoilery, but nothing like super specific. But it's definitely a reason that I would not read the book, so I want to tell you, okay? So she tells her dragon riders not to use lethal force and that they're going to try and, you know, bring them over to their side. Mind you, she's like, what, a 25-year-old female. That's important because there's a lot of misogyny. There's a lot of misogyny, and she was never her father's true heir because she was a woman. She was destined to be the High King's bride since she was a child because of a prophecy. Like, there's no respect there between her and her countrymen. She doesn't even know these guys, to be honest. The idea that she can just be like, hey, we don't want to fight, while they're actively trying to kill you because you're in a literal war, you're in a battle. The idea that you can just be like, hey, let's just shoot to disarm. Dumb. I'm sorry, it's dumb. I despise. I understand she was fighting against her own countrymen. She didn't really want to do that. All of the army that she is fighting against and that they are fighting against, they are hoping to be the next High King and High Queen. So technically, they're hoping for these people to be their people right after this battle is over. So I understand trying to mitigate casualties. Like, I get that. But you can't just not kill anybody. You're in a battle. You're in a war zone. I hate characters who are like, I can't kill them even though they're trying to kill me because that would make me just as bad as they are. And also, she's so inconsistent with it. Like, she kills people in this book, and then anytime anyone else tries to kill people, she's like, no, you shouldn't do that. That's bad. Like, shut up. Oh, she's making me so mad. Because she tells her entire elite lethal force of dragon riders. First of all, her hubby, the wannabe High King, right? He tells her, look, you don't have to fight if you don't want to. I know you don't want to fight your people. You don't have to fight. I let you out of the oath to do this. You don't have to fight. And she's like, no, I'm going to be beside you. I'm going to fight. And then what does she do? She tells this elite group of sky warriors that are supposed to be a major advantage in this battle not to use lethal force. And what do you think happens because of that? Go ahead, I'll give you a second. What do you think the possible outcome could be? Oh, that's right. So some of her people die. Surprise! Surprise! The other soldiers didn't listen to them. They considered them traitors. They were really not into the idea of kumbayaing, and they kill some of the dragon riders. Shocking. Shocking. What? In a battle? In war? Enemy to enemy? They didn't pull their punches? I am flabbergasted. I could not have foreseen this. Who knew? Oh. Literally just like ruined the book for me. Made me so mad. And then she was like, oh my God, I think I'm having a realization that we actually can't pull our punches during this battle. Like, what the fuck? What did you think? And to me, again, that was just like another like confirmation that she's not mature, even for a 25-year-old. She's not mature. And therefore, why would these fae that are hundreds of years old bow down and respect her authority on her claim alone? Like, both of them are immature, and then this is the dumbest thing you could possibly do. And it's like, yeah, no, if you're not willing to kill the enemy's killing you. I don't know what to tell you. Really, really, really obvious. Oh, I'm so mad. So took a whole star off of her that. It's a 3-star. Arguably could have taken more stars off. But I usually try to only take 1 star per infraction. But wow, it was just the dumbest thing you could possibly do, in my humble opinion. They win, obviously. They win. She goes back to her court. She's the queen. She's nervous about whether or not they'll accept her. And then they do. And she's like, yay. But it's like, you were the princess with no real power. You were not respected. Misogyny. You've been a traitor for the last few months, according to all of the political propaganda. Like, I don't know. I just don't really see it being that easy, but you do you, I guess. We won, guys. We won. It's just one of those things where it's like, they're the best. They're the best that's ever been. And it's like, yeah, you keep saying that, but then you keep showing them being dumb and losing their temper and not being respected and having issues. But they're the best to have ever done it. They're the strongest. They're the most powerful. Everyone is going to bow down to them. And it's like, but are they? Because you can't just stomp your foot and say, bow down, bitches. Respect my wife. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Respect has to be freely given. I feel like that's 101. It made me so angry because it took a good book that could have been great with the proper editing and changes, in my opinion. The whole thing could have been great. It was good. And then it went to, actually, I'm ending this book mad. I'm ending up mad and annoyed because why would you do that? So that's fun. Love that for me. I am absolutely one of those people that if there is a change in plans, I hate it. I hate it so much. Like, today there's going to be a dumpster that we can use, and I wanted to get a dumpster and I wanted to clear a bunch of stuff out of the house. But it was there, it's not ours, but it's there without any warning. Like, I got told today, hey, you can use this dumpster, which is great, and it's an opportunity, and, you know, like, I'm not gonna let this opportunity pass me by. I'm going to take advantage of it. However, my life would be so much better if I had known to plan for this today. And to be expecting it and to have already mentally wrapped around the fact that, okay, I'm going to be spending Monday doing that, you know? Like, I hate it. I do not want to find out that I have to do something last minute, even if it's like a 30-second project. I hate it. I hate it so much. Like, don't spring things on me. And I know, like, you didn't have any heads up either. Like, you didn't know. But, like, you kind of know. You kind of know a little bit, I feel like. But, like, I just, nervous system-wise, mentally, I don't do well with it at all. Even when it's something that I do, in fact, want to do. But, like, if you could have let me know at least a couple days ahead of time, very different mental experience. And it's like anything that I'm like told about, I feel like I get mad because I literally need like a few minutes to process it. Like, you have to give me a minute to get past my reaction. So now I'm like filled with dread. I should be working on that. I'm procrastinating. What I do instead? I already knew about this, okay? Should have been working on gathering things to put in the dumpster, right? I did a journal spread, obviously. Obviously, I did this instead. That did not need to be done today. That I had no plans to do today. But as soon as it was like, oh, actually, you should really be doing this thing urgently, I was like, journaling. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a problem. It's a problem. So now I'm going to be unhappy all day because I'm either supposed to be doing that, should be doing that, accomplishing that, and that's hard. It's not like a fun project. Or I know I should be doing that, but I'm doing something else instead, and I'm not even able to enjoy it because I know I should be doing this stupid dumpster that I'm happy about, but not today. Tell me it's gonna be here on Wednesday. Like, seriously, like, I need time to ease into the idea that this is what we're doing now. Oh, filled with existential dread. For what? For something I tried to make happen a couple months ago on my own. Yep. That's really all you need to know about my thought process and the way that my nervous system and anxiety work. Also, another thing. This is the work of my mother, okay? Angel, devil, pick whatever you want. But she did one of those mom things that is enough to drive me to the brink. You know what I'm saying? And that is, I get a text, hey, give me a call when you have a minute. Well, I call her right away because I'm not going to live with that dread. Again, existential dread. Why? Because chances are good it means I'm babysitting my nephew for the rest of the day. Chances are good. That's not what it was. Chances are good you need something immediately. You need me to go here, there, everywhere, figure something out, okay? Or every bit as much of a chance of, hey, your dad's had another heart attack. He is in the ER. Or, hey, they found this, yada, yada, yada. There's chances somebody died. All of this text means all of those different things. Or it could be, hey, I got Twizzlers. Do you want some? Like, it could be anything. And I can't handle the possibility of which of those things it is. You could have just texted, hey, dumpster available today. Can put anything in there that you want except for tires, paint, electronics. Could have been the text. Instead, you texted me, hey, call me when you have a minute. And I have to wonder if my day is shot, which turns out it was, but if my day is shot, if somebody's dead, or if you just wanted to know if turquoise and yellow go together. Not to mention the fact you could have just called me instead of texting me, hey, call me. You could have just called me, because if I can't answer, I won't answer. That's actually a fun little hack available to me. I love how this vlog is basically a journey with fuck-ass bangs. It is November 4th. I voted and I want credit for it because I really didn't want to go do it. But I did it anyway. And I have a TJ Maxx haul for you. I did buy this several days ago. It is still staying in the bag. I've had a migraine for the last few days and this is as far as I got. I also haven't taken down my Halloween decorations yet either. Such is life. I actually went for Halloween decoration clearance and sadly didn't find any. I got Rachel Zoe Christmas towels, but are these not like perfect for me? They're green and wintry. Oh, I'm just so excited. They don't scream Christmas. They're subtle and my favorite color right now. I got this gold bangle on clearance. It just snaps closed. Did I try it on? No, perhaps I should have. Ooh la la. You're so impressed, I know. And last but not least, I got a Christmas candle. It smells really good. Stand and Fog Winter White. It's like a subtle Christmas tree scent, and I like it, and I really like, I just think that's very pretty. Very, very pretty. So, need to finish this sucker off. Almost there. And at some point this month, we will swap those. So, I have decided that I am taking a week off from any type of commitment reads. I have accidentally been doing a lot of commitment reads in the past month or two, and so I'm taking this week off because I've had live shows for 4 weeks straight, and I've been reading these arcs and stuff as well. And so I do currently have an arc that is coming out right after this video, actually. So on November 18th, Arrow of Fortune, which is Raiders of the Arcana number 3 by Jacqueline Benson is the author. I didn't even look it up. I finally remembered while I was trying to look it up. So this is the perfect book series for fans of The Mummy, which I just thought today that theoretically a 4th Mummy is coming out. But anyways, this is the perfect book series for fans of that. And this book takes place in India, and we have 4 main characters right now. We have our main character, her love interest, her best friend, and her brother. Her best friend and her brother are slowly but surely also having a romance, and it's delightful, and I am really genuinely excited to read this arc and to read this book. However, like I said, I've decided I'm not going to include it in this vlog. I'm going to be done, and that is that. I think this video is long enough as is, and like I said, I really need a break. That is on Netgalley, but I don't have it through Netgalley. And I have 2 books out on Netgalley right now. They are both 2026 arcs. I have Silver and Blood by Jessie Mahalik, and I have Enchanting the Fae Queen by Stephanie Burgess. And then I have 1 book that I have requested but have not yet received an answer, and that is Safari Murder Party by Rachel Moore. All 3 are 2026 releases, so the only 2025 arc I have is Arrow of Fortune. Let's see, what is my percentage at right now on Netgalley? How do I even tell? Oh, I have 80%. So there you go. I hope you liked this. I hope it was worth your time. Let me know if you'd like to see any of those specifically in another vlog. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.